Hi everyone, it's Sintang Mayumi. I have a card tutorial today using Spellbinders small die of the month called Home for the Holidays. To save some time, I already went ahead and die cut all my pieces, and I also colored and put them together, and I use pattern paper for the clothes and apple pies, and colored the rest of the die cut pieces using my zig markers. For the pattern paper, I used this DCWB Basic Stack 6x6 paper pad, and I also use my scraps of this 6x6 doodle bag. As you can see, I still have some scraps, and those small pieces of scraps are good for small die cut pieces or images. For the background, I'm going to do some stenciling using Carta Simple Shiplap Stencil. I'm also using Strathmore Bristol Smooth for my panel today. Bristol paper is good for ink blending and with zig markers. The colors will blend nicely because of the coating on the paper. I'm going to tape down my panel on the back of the stencil, and I will also add washi tape on the back so it will stay on my surface, and add more washi tape on both sides of the stencil to make sure they are not going anywhere. The ink I'm using is Memento London Fog Ink, and I will use my makeup brush to apply the ink on the paper. And I'm going to do the stenciling on my other panel. I made 2 cards today, but I'm just showing you one card on the video. I'm going to trim my panel a little bit, and that will leave me a little bit of border on my card. I'm going to add floor on my card using Woodgrain washi tape. If you don't have Woodgrain washi tape, you can create a floor by coloring on the bottom using your coloring mediums. I will leave links of the Woodgrain washi tapes that I found on Amazon. For the sentiment, I'm using Knit and Tangled Into the Woods stamp set. I pull out my scraps of watercolor paper, and I'm going to stamp the sentiments that says thank you from the bottom of my heart and grateful for you sentiments. I'm also using my Misti here so I can stamp the sentiments a few times, but I think I only stamped them just once because I got good impression the first time. I'm going to emboss these sentiments using Wow Clear gloss embossing powder, and then I'm going to melt the powder with my heat tool. I'm going to cut the sentiments using my Fiskars trimmer because these ones are not gonna fit on my card if I don't cut them, so I'm just cutting them and then using my scissor to cut the ends with an angle. I'm also going to distress the edges of the sentiments using Vintage Photo Distress ink, and I'm using my finger dabber here to apply the color on the paper. I also distress the edges of the panels with the same ink. And then we can move on to adhering our panel on our A2 size top folding card base. And I always use 110-pound cardstock for my card base, and I usually get my cardstock from Michaels. And then I'm going to adhere my character on the left side of the panel, and then my sentiment will be on the other side. And I'm going to pop them up with foam tape and then adhere it on the card. For the embellishment, I pull out some sequins from my stash and scatter them on the card. I will adhere them using glossy accents, and I use my crystal katana to help me pick up the sequins. For the inside of the card, I needed something to put my apple pies, so I hand-drawn a table and fussy cut it with my detailed scissor. And then I'm going to adhere that on the left side, cut the excess paper, and then I will also adhere a couple of my apple pies on top of it. I'm also going to add some shadows under the table using my light gray zig marker. And my cards are finished. I made 2 cards today, as you can see, and I like how they turned out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.